Hello artists, welcome back to Art at Home with Mrs. Kellogg. Well, today we're going to create whimsical trees, and we're going to learn more about the elements of art, but especially about gesture lines, those really important lines that help artists create action and movement in their artwork. So meet me over at my workspace, and I'm going to tell you more about the lesson and the materials you will need. Here are a couple of examples of the whimsical tree art that we're going to create for our art project today. Now let me tell you the materials that you will need for today's project. The first thing you always want to do is lay down that art mat or newspaper on your workspace area. You're going to be needing some art paper. You can use a page from your art pad or any other kind of paper as long as it's thick enough to apply watercolor to. We're going to start with pencils, so you'll need a pencil and eraser, and we're going to outline our shapes. You could use a black Sharpie marker for this, the black oil pastel from your oil pastel set, or even a black crayon. And you will need oil pastels, and we are going to watercolor the background, so you'll need your watercolor set, a brush from your art kit. Make sure that you have a cup and you'll fill that with water, and you'll also need a paper towel. So now would be a great time for you to pause the video, get your materials and get your workspace all set up, and I'll meet you back here to create some whimsical trees. Did you get your materials? Great, then let's get started. So as I said before, we're going to create whimsical trees, and you have a choice because you could make holiday whimsical trees or you could make a forest of whimsical trees. Now, we're going to start with that really important element of our line. So in order to do this part of the video, what I recommend is having an extra piece of sketch paper, because what we want to practice first is making gesture lines, and those are lines of action that artists use to create movement in their artwork. And they're really loose, fun lines to make, but you need some warming up with these kind of lines. So you can hold your pencil this way, or you could hold your pencil this way. What you want to do is make this loose, kind of curvy line. So you're almost pulling from your shoulder. So if I do this and I'm just drawing from my wrist, I'm just really kind of stiff and drawing a stiff line. So what I really want to do is take my pencil and just draw these really fun, loose lines in whichever way is comfortable for you to hold your pencil, and you could just have fun and make a bunch. Try from going from the bottom, try from going from the top. Let's have a lot of fun with that. Then when you're done with that, we're ready to start. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am actually going to mix it up. So I'll show you how to do just a regular whimsical tree in the forest, and then more of this kind of design-like or holiday tree. So I'm going to start with my tree in the center. That's the first tree I'm going to draw. So this is going to be the start of my gesture line. So I kind of come slow, and then I'm going to come from here. Now I'm going to think shape. And then I'm going to curve up again, give it a little more action. Rectangle for the trunk. I'm going to have this go off the page. This tree, I'm going to have it overlap, and I'm really going to curve it. So kind of a short gesture line. And then this one, curve out like so. So you could leave it like that, but I want to add some background lines in. One thing to remember when you're drawing lines, for example, I'm drawing this line across, I can stop and hop over. If I do draw through, I want to erase that out first. Okay, so now I'm going to add some design to these trees. So maybe the first one, I'm going to make it more like a forest tree. And then these other ones, I'm going to add some design to them. Now I finished drawing my trees, so it's time to trace all of my shapes. Did you finish tracing your trees? Great. Then let's add some color. I'm going to use oil pastels, and if you don't have oil pastels, you can use crayons. Okay, so now I want to create some dimension in my first tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 shades. Okay, so as you notice, I'm going to make it more of a traditional evergreen tree. So I'm going to use yellow as my lightest shade, my medium shade, and my dark shade. Okay, so now we're thinking value and color, light, medium, and dark. Now, a tree curves, so what I want to do is, I'm just going to show you on the back of this, I'm going to curve like this. Okay, so this is going to be my stroke. So artists, the way they use their art tool or the direction, they'll talk about strokes or brush strokes. Okay, so that's my first stroke, and I'm going to make this side the lighter side. So I'm going to start that with yellow, and what I like to do is turn my paper as I'm working here. And some of you might remember this from our art lessons on how to use value to make our artwork look 3-dimensional. So I don't want to blend it all the way on mine. I'm going to leave a little bit of that light color in there. Okay, so now I have my tree, but it looks striped. So where the dark and the medium meet, I'm going to blend it. Where the light and the medium shade meet, I'm going to blend it. So I go back and forth with the colors. So again, just where it's meeting. Okay, and now I'm ready to add color to my other trees. So I can continue with the green theme, or I can add other colors. It's totally up to you. Now it's your turn to add color to your trees. And when you're done, we'll meet back here and start watercoloring. I finished adding color with my oil pastels, so now it's time to paint. So remember, it's watercolors, so we want to add lots of water. And I always have a paper towel handy just in case I need to blot anything out if the paint goes into areas I don't want. And just remember, if you want your colors darker, you use more paint, and if you want your colors lighter, you use more water. And if the paint's too dark, remember you can always blot it out with a paper towel. Well, I'm going to continue painting. So now it's your time to have fun painting. Well, that's our lesson on creating whimsical trees. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I also hope you had lots of fun painting. Now, always remember, when you are creating art, to relax, have lots of fun, and keep creating.